Okay, I'm done with that. So, I kind of wanted to start off with, like, doing the horn concepts for Patchouli. Because I'm probably going to do the same horns for her sister, Dahlia. Also, I should probably turn on the music. You know? That should be a good enough volume for y'all to, like, hear me, I guess. So basically, I wanted to give her horns, but I wasn't really sure what to really do for the horns. So there's A, B, and C. And I, of course, added the collarbone eyes. And I might combine these together? Because I really like the kind of form that these give, but it doesn't really add much to the silhouette. And this adds form to her. It kind of highlights her face, but it doesn't really add anything to the silhouette. And I like these because they add to the silhouette. And yeah. And I'm probably going to, like, have an in-lore explanation, like these are kind of, the bones are hollow over here. So it's not, like, too heavy on the head, because that would probably cause some neck problems. Sorry, my throat is dry. But at least I don't think I have COVID anymore. I'm just experiencing congestion. Which, to be fair, when do I never or not have congestion? Basically never. I might need to replace the nib on my stylus, because it's getting kind of worn down. But I might wait a little more. Also, the original sketch was literally this. Then I kind of refined it with symmetry, added the hair, so I know what it kind of looks like with the hair. And I like this because it kind of makes it look like a crown. And of course it kind of has like curve, you know, like that. And the main issue would probably end up being like how if I give her like 4 horns, the main problem will be how will they look in the side profile, because it will kind of look a little different. And I do of course have references. And why is there a listing for a French horn here? It's not about instruments. There are several. Why? So I could probably like trace over the base. I mean, I could always like copy these horns and kind of like liquefy them to make them appear taller. You know what? Okay, duplicate layer. Control Shift Transform. I think just Control. And this is how it looks like, kind of altered. So I'll make a kind of rudimentary side profile. And this is kind of just like to show concept. Also, I did eventually finish the eye tracking for my Life 2D. So, if I have the horns like over here, so horn A, let me move this. Horn A is kind of like around here. Horn B is about here. And horn C is about in the middle. However, if I switch horn C to be here, and then move the horn B to kind of be like over here, it could probably make a little more sense. I'm gonna change the color of this to the vermilion. So you can more obviously see the difference. I'm not really sure. I mean, obviously horns can be kind of complicated because there are many different kinds of horns. Like, you can, of course, reference real life with like sheep and goats. And even cows, by the way. Cows have horns. Hello, condition to get you through the day. Through suffering. Because obviously you don't want to be too comfortable. You gotta have at least a little bit of suffering. Oh, well. But yeah. So... this will, of course, be kind of combined. And if I should probably, like, move these down. So I can fit more potential concepts. Because that's what you gotta do as an artiste. base D. Gotta do control. Then horns E. Control, move that a little bit to there. Move that a little there. Control, move, if it'll be not wonky. Delete the ruler. So I can probably like duplicate this, translate. So, and symmetry. And the main thing that I wanted to do with the horns is, so in the game Patchoulie's Revenge, which this is Patchoulie, she is the protagonist. He lives in a congregation? Like, she is a priestess who was taken in by a church a decade before the story takes place. And basically, I actually have some notes on my phone, on the notes app. So, nuns and priestesses, I don't know why I put them separately. They probably will fill the same purpose. But basically, in Patchoulie's Revenge, they are pretty self-sufficient. They grow their own food. Like, there's an annex for a greenhouse, so they can, have food, and also they also make their own mead. And they often work in shifts, because there's a decent amount of them, and some of them are kind of experts in certain things, so they kind of, like, if they are good with tending in the crops, they mostly work in the garden and the greenhouse. But if they are more skilled in, like, cleaning and organization, they probably work in, like, the library. And they are also trained in magic, mostly because they are also considered the protectors of the church and anyone who is inside the church, if they, regardless of whether or not they are part of, they're members of the religion or not. It's basically their duty to protect anyone inside the walls of the church, unless they are, the ones who are dangerous, like who harm the church or anyone inside the church. So they are trained in magic and melee combat to kind of just protect the church from invaders or like terrorists. Who really knows these days? And it kind of proves useful for Patchouli because there is a little bit of world building with her and the species she's kind of part of. There is, of course, a lot of lore that is currently undeveloped that I want to develop with y'all, if it is possible. Probably like in the Discord, but I'll make I might make a channel in the Discord where you can contribute ideas to any of the stories. I'll probably make a few threads or forums. If you have any contributions. And of course, when the game comes out, I'll try to credit all of the ideas that I can and that aren't my own. And this will, of course, include ideas suggested by, if there are, beta players who have contributions that they want to add. I mean, of course I'll have to develop the game to a point where I can actually have beta players. And it's going to be done in RPG Maker. I mean, if I'm to make I of course plan on doing custom sprites, at least when it's after making a prototype, because it's going to involve some custom sprites from my end. And I'll also have to figure out colorblind options, because for her accessibility, because if I am to so in the game, there's the main gameplay loop is going to be there are mysteries and you have to collect evidence of said to kind of figure out what happened, what's going on. And I don't want to have y'all randomly clicking in everywhere in order to find any hints. So there's going to be like purple little sparkles. And they will probably be animated as well. But once the evidence there is collected, it'll change to something like white. It'll change into like some kind of off-white color. I'm just going with pure white to like show the concept. But of course, some people might have issues with like color and stuff. So in that case, I'll have to like figure out a way to have a color that can be more easily seen. And I'll have to like use colorblind filters to kind of like test to see if the colors contrast enough with the environment, because the environments will probably like change in like colors, so I want to try and have colors that contrast well enough in the environment, and so everyone will have an easy time playing the game. At least when it comes to like seeing the sparkles. And this is also tied to the journal. This looks good. Now I'm gonna have to combine it with the other horns, because they kind of go like here. Hold on. And I'm probably going to like have the horns be the same color as her eyes. This is kind of like for contrast purposes, because, and obviously I'm probably not going to like bug my former art professors with, art questions, because I'm no longer their student. But I remember, like, when I was in my senior year of high school, I was doing like an assignment, and I had some digital art of one of the characters that I literally uploaded to my Google Drive so I could show her to my teacher while I was in class using my phone, because I can't exactly bring my PC to school. And this was before I had my own PC, I believe. Like, I got my own PC in, like, the summer of 2022, around the time I started streaming. I'm sure some of y'all remember that, at least when I started playing Stardew. So, I'm gonna see if I have the file, because I'm pretty sure it's in my downloads. have it here. Oh, I do. Gotta scroll down. So this of course is like 2-year-old art, and I was trying to like figure out a way to do like complementary colors, or like contrasting colors for shading, which obviously I think it looks kind of bad. But I gave this to my professor, and she was just like, yeah, the horns, it's kind of hard to see the horns with the hair because it doesn't really contrast well. Because the color of the horns was a little too close to the color of the hair. Even though if you put it in grayscale, you can see it. It's just that for the color, it's just not really contrasty enough with the rest of it. So I made the color of the hair closer, the horns closer to the color of the eyes, which had better contrast. Hold on. I actually have a screenshot of this, which, if you're in I only posted it in like 2 servers, neither of which are my own. Also, hello! Acoustic! Yes, I am indeed acoustic. Also, that was your first message. Did you, like, ever in the chat? Welcome, it's Mad. Yes, I am indeed a dragon. An acoustic dragon. And fairy. An unholy copy of life, a mockery of its freedom, and born in the cruel betrayal of the noble ideals I would have served. Damn. Oh, I made the erase. I forgot to change the erase. These soys. I was excellent, I am deformed, recast poorly with these crude materials, but this abomination of flesh serves well my murderous intent! Oh god. So loud. Oh god. The roleplay. This looks good. Kind of a combination of all 3. How many horns do you draw? That's literally you! Eh. How many horns do dragons have? Well, it all depends on how many horns you want to give them. You can give them like 2, like I have, or you can give them a whole bunch. But 2 is kind of the best number. Because if you give them too many horns, they'll get busy! Add sharp teeth. Vampire teeth. She actually has pretty big chompers. Okay. Like over here. You probably can't really see it that well, but she kind of has like big fangs and tusks. And I think I tend to give some of my characters like noticeable fangs. Probably because I don't have upper canines of my own. Which is Skelly lore. Oh, these are the eyes. They usually kind of look like patches on the skin, but they can turn into eyes and mouths. And it's kind of a reference to the Eye of Cthulhu in Terraria, which she was originally made as kind of a reference to the corruption in Terraria. And if I grab her sister, she is meant to be a reference to the Crimson. She currently has no determined hair color. She's kind of grumpy. But yeah, I am kind of toying with the concept of like having potentially like the lines here that kind of open up when her mouth opens to kind of show like the fang, like her teeth. You know, peep the horror. Yeah, more fleshy indeed. But yeah. So her name is Dahlia, and her name is Patchouli. And these, of course, in the lore, these are not their actual birth names, because for Patchouli, she kind of had to run away from home because her family was kind of neglectful of her. And basically, her sister, so this happens 10 years prior to the story, and basically, yeah, so their mother is kind of like the leader of a kind of race of, like, I don't know what the name of them would be, but they're kind of like eldritch beings, like kind of gods. Yeah, floating wings. Yeah, like the Slimers. Yeah, I can probably do that because they are kind of like magical beings. I mean, I have had this idea for like another story where basically kind of like some kind of like rune where their wings come from, like kind of a rune on their back where the wings kind of show up from. But yeah, of course we'll have to look more into like the reference the sprites of the monsters. Here's in the Terraria's Corruption and Crimson biomes. Because, yeah, detached wings. Because right now she kind of just has like tentacles. But yeah, originally Patchouli was kind of just meant to be a reference to the corruption in her like design, which is why she is very much purple, which is also my favorite color. As you can probably see by my overlay and my model. And I originally drew her on index cards back in like November of 2023. And she actually does have horns. They actually look kind of similar to these ones. And she of course looks way more tired in those because I did have like her full story down. And this is loading, but this is actually meant to be the title screen. So there are 7 chapters. It starts with the prologue where she's in her like priest outfit. And this is kind of why I wanted to add the horns, because they kind of like attach. There's like ribbons that kind of wrap around the top horn, most likely. Need to kind of secure it in place, and they probably will also go onto the side horns as well to keep it more secure, so it's harder to kind of try and remove it. And of course there's a little mesh to kind of show her eyes. But this sketch is the one I love the most. It's for the first chapter, which is kind of the tutorial chapter. So, if you're wondering about if you're wondering, hey, those look like the names for species and stuff, you'd be correct. These are the Latin names for, like, the scientific names of flowers and stuff. And I actually have, and these are meant to be the names of chapters because these kind of surround a specific character. Oh, yes, I do know about it. I've actually been playing through it on stream, and I really love it so far. But yeah, all the major characters are named after flowers. Currently, there are like a few characters here. There is, of course, Dahlia, Patchouli, which apparently the scientific name for the patchouli flower is Pogostemon cablin. And I'm not sure if I should give the prologue a different name, or just call it prologue because Patchouli and Dahlia canonically changed their names to kind of sever their connections with their mother, who is kind of a corrupt figure. And I don't have a kind of design for her yet, but it's going to involve a lot of beige. And it's going to make sense because she kind of has like a bit of an iron grip and kind of like forces basically the entire region to basically be painted in like neutral colors, like minimalism nightmares. And she also extends this to her own daughters, forcing them to also wear beige. And it kind of leaves a lot of trauma, especially with them, which is why they kind of like, if you force them to wear beige, they will probably punch you in the face. Like, they don't really want to relive those memories at all. But yeah. I plan on even reflecting that in like the living spaces that they live in, because the agency they are part of, which I don't have a name for it yet, but it's probably going to be named after some kind of flower to kind of go with the theme of the characters. But especially for like Dahlia, who's been in the organization for a few years already. Self-projection? Well, this is a story that I'm making. And to be fair, I am kind of basing Dahlia and Patchouli's mother on my grandmother, who is a horrible person. But it's kind of funny because most of my characters don't even have purple in their color palettes. Like, at all. And yeah, like most of them have like no purple at all, which is kind of weirdly ironic, given that it's my favorite color. And the fact that I rarely even have that color or in any of my characters is kind of ironic. Like, it's my favorite color. Like, yeah. So, including her, which I actually made this my kind of lock screen on my PC. Like, when I turn it on, it's what you see when you log in. And this was actually my final project in my senior year art class, which was Art Foundations. I might remake it because the perspective is lacking. I really like the design. But yeah. So there are like there are 6 main characters in here. So there is, of course, Patchouli. Dahlia actually shows up a little later, because when Patchouli first arrives to like the agency and is recruited, Dahlia is on a mission. But there's, of course, Fennel, and basically his chapter is the tutorial chapter, which is, yeah, only be one main character, and that's you! Oh god. So his chapter is Funiculum vulgare, which is the scientific name of the fennel plant and stuff. Then there is Lilium candidum, which is Lily. She has no drawn design yet. And she is kind of a character who she likes dressing in a way that is kind of revealing. Of course, not like super inappropriate clothing, but it shows a decent amount of skin, or is at least kind of tight fitting. But yeah. But this excludes when she is in the lab, because she is kind of the lab tech. And in there, she dresses in a way that is lab safe. Like, she will literally lecture you if you go into the lab without wearing something that is safe to wear in a lab. And she probably, like, has spared her clothes in there as well. Well, in case someone does not have the ability to get their own lab-safe clothing at the moment. And she is kind of one of the first characters that you kind of meet out of the main cast in, like, the prologue, because she and Fennel go there to kind of investigate. Then there is Osmanthus fragrans, which is Osmi, and she is kind of meant to be the Doyen girl, and there is also some lore to her, which is why her pupil looks like that. And she is basically just a very dumb reference to Jung Lee. If you know about his Osmanthus wine line, that's kind of what the reference is. And then there is Hydrangea macrophylla, which is, of course, hydrangea. And she is also she is very significant in the lore, because according to the document I have up, so she is basically, there's kind of a boba place / cafe that Hydrangea works at, that Osmanthus frequents. And if you're wondering about the cat, That's because this is the Galaxy Cat subplot. And then after that, there is Dahlia Calcanea, which is basically where Dahlia and Patchoul's connection is developed. Like, when they realize that they're, you know, sisters. And of course, it kind of makes sense for me to make them not realize they're siblings right away. It would kind of ruin the surprise. Like, because they've not only changed their names, they literally haven't seen each other in a decade. They are both in their 20s. Is when the story kind of commences. Dahlia is, of course, the older sister. And it makes sense that they'd probably, like, have a feeling that they're related somehow, but wouldn't be fully sure because they haven't seen each other in a decade. Like, 10 years passed between when Patchouli runs away. Yeah, Acoustic. Basically, so they haven't seen each other in years. So obviously they probably wouldn't, like, immediately recognize each other as, like, sisters. Kind of, like, give it a little bit of a slow burn. And I'm not sure which chapter I'll reveal her in. Like, I'll probably reveal her in chapter 2 or chapter 3. And of course, the last chapter, Pogo Simon Kablin, is Patchouli's chapter. And basically, this is the finale. It is when she returns to her homeland with her sister and the main cast. And basically, her objective is to kind of just end her mother's tyranny in their homeland. So yeah. And then, like, in Hydrangea's chapter, you kind of get to learn more about what her species is and sort of some of the atrocities her Patchouli's mother has committed against, like, the people. Oh. Now we are at the Terraria. And yeah. Also, I've been pretty much info dumping for an hour and barely doing shit. But yeah, I also need to, like, figure out a color for her hair. And I have, of course, made a combined version of these colors. Yeah. Yeah, the farming simulator. Oh, right. I haven't worked on that in months, actually.
Hello there.
Also, thank you for following. See you later, indeed. But yeah. And there are, of course, a few P crews. I'm going to save this. And of course, I'm probably gonna have to, like, label these. So let's duplicate this layer. Base E. And I'm going to label these horns as well. Wait, what happened to horns D? Oh. Delete that. Duplicate this. E. And make this Ek in the center. So this is A, B, C, D, and E. And make this a PNG. And let's go to the expressions. So this is kind of a gesture to kind of like get the expressions across. And of course she has a few outfits. All of these characters have multiple outfits. And they have the names as well. And of course I'll have to like make some kind of base. So these are kind of like chibis to like show the expressions, like conceptualize them without need to like sketch her entirely. Actually, I can probably like make some kind of base. I'll probably like outfits. So let's grab this. And we can make a little sketch. And this one is kind of just to show where the eye ends. Actually, I could probably like make a concept for how the sprites will probably look like in game. So I'm going to open this up again. So and the hair kind of like poofs out like a Studio Ghibli character. I'm also going to open up the horn concept. So oh. So this is kind of like what her hair is meant to, what her hair is meant to kind of look like. It does look a little messy, but that's because it's, you know, a sketch. And sketches can be a little messy. But not too messy because that might, you know, mess up the way it's kind of perceived as a 3D object. And let's clean little bit. I really want to play Terraria now, not gonna lie. I might need to like make a 3D head for like the horns so I can like draw them accurately. Which means learning Blender, which I'm probably gonna have to learn how anyway. Since, you know, I plan on 3D printing a sword for cosplays. And the horn is probably going to like hide some of the hair. I'm probably gonna keep this sketch so it looks consistent. But yeah, this is probably like what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna grab myself another water. I'll be right back. What? But yeah. So, Hello, Shard! How are you? We are doing Expwessions, and I made more horn concepts. the horns, and they are labeled. But yeah. So today is a holiday, so I don't have to attend class because there would be none. And congestion is kicking my ass. Also, I don't think I have COVID anymore. So I still am experiencing congestion. But how are you, Shard? But yeah. Class tomorrow. Oof. My brother is actually leaving tomorrow before class. And his college is like 4 hours away. So yeah. Also, I'm going to change this to a more contrasty color. But yeah. But yeah. The textbook for my art history class has arrived. Which means I can probably use this for like references. But yeah. Wait, no. Not what I meant to do. So this is kind of a concept I have for Osmanthus. But she is called Osmi for short. And she is actually kind of a gremlin. Like, I literally have fucking Gremlin over here. But yeah. And this is going to be the first week that I'll be able to actually attend my in-person class because I had COVID during the first week of classes. And I was just like, yeah, I don't think my classmates are gonna like me in a classroom with someone with COVID. Also, why am I still having that on? But yeah. College goes burr. But yeah. Luckily, I only have like 3 classes, and one of them's an accelerated course, so I only have to deal with 1 month of 3 classes, and then I'll just be dealing with 2. For like the whole semester. And apparently, and this class is kind of like required for graduation. Because it is, you know, basically orientation. And my mom also attended the same college that I'm currently attending. It's like a community college, and she hated the class because it was basically like a scavenger hunt. And they described it as basically orientation. And my mom was just like, you're making us pay money for a class that is basically orientation. Which, I don't really understand it either. And I also paid like... And the textbook for it is also like $80. And that's if it's new, and also it is loose leaf. So I have to get a binder to put the textbook in. And it's also like super fucking expensive. And I don't even get a bound book. Which I do not understand at all. Like, if you're going to make me pay like 40-something bucks, can you at least give me a bound textbook so I don't have to pay extra money to pay for a binder to keep it in? But yeah. It kind of sucks. And I mean, I am learning a lot of like stuff that I probably wouldn't have really learned about if I didn't attend in college. But some of this is just annoying. But at least my tuition is being paid for by the VA. That's always good. Also, there is a Pikachu that I made of Osmi, but it is kind of spoiler her territory for the game. Should I give her a little lash? You know what? I'm gonna find some references. Okay. I kind of looked up like Fanhua lashes because, yeah. I'm going to make that a separate layer in case I don't really like it. Hello, Rissa. I am still working on it. But yeah, it is in fact done. Yes, Aladium. But yeah, for now I'm just working on the character. So this kind of feels like a little too much. I should probably like, yeah. But yeah, I really like them too. I'm probably going to go with like E. Like this one is what I'm probably going to go with because that's what I'm using for the expression. But yeah. D is basically just like a taller version of C. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what to do with the... I might try and like just do a little blank. Like a little basic. Big flash. And only like do the two lashes on the end. Like on the edge of the eye. Or I could keep those two, but I'm not fully sure. And I also have some Douyin in fashion references. Okay, let's flip this. Not like that. Like that. So she's kind of... So Osmond is meant to be a bit of a silly goose. Like a little bit of a gremlin. So, canonically, in the story, she is friends with Fennel. Who is this guy. And that is because they were in the color guard together. Her in high school. And in college as well. So they're both the same age. And they're kind of just silly beans. Like the goofy ones. And we're, until Patchouli came in, kind of the youngest members of the organization. So they are kind of afflicted with what I like to call afflicted with sillies. Like little goofballs who kind of are a little mischievous. Like, if you think of that one California Girls meme, that's literally them on a regular basis. They just call shenanigans. And these shenanigans also tend to scare and confuse Patchouli. Because she never really interacted much with people her own age in like a casual setting. Until she kind of joined the organization, so she ends up being like very confused as to the shenanigans that tend to be caused. And rarely does she ever join in on the shenanigans. Until probably like later on. That she's like a little more comfortable with causing shenanigans. But yeah, they're a little silly. Just a few silly little beans. Who tend to cause shenanigans. And I'm not really sure what the duty of Osby is going to be in the organization. Probably like logistics. Because that's kind of one of the most important things in any organization is logistics. And of course she is a bit of a doyen girly. So we'll probably look around here. You know, she is also kind of the epitome of the colon 3 face. Like a little mischievous. Which both confuses and terrifies. But she's probably also going to be one of the scariest. For reasons which I will not elaborate on. Until later. And she probably, like, always carries a knife on her. Because what's a little silliness without a weapon? But yeah. Some people just think she's just a silly little goose who tends to prank people by just putting rubber ducks everywhere, most likely. Or just eggs. Like those little plastic Easter eggs. But she is also capable of being one of the most terrifying people you've ever met. She can be the most silly person you've ever met or the most terrifying person you've ever met. And there is no in between. Sometimes they're for the same reason. Like, oh, well, what's this? Traps it, the fucking culprit in Crystal. But she also likes being cute. And a little bit goofy. I could probably add like an ahoge or like a cowlick to kind of accentuate her silliness. Make it sort of make sense, but also a little bit ironic. When you realize what she is. Let me look at my hair references. Because I have a decent amount. So she is meant to be the silly. The terrifying and silly. Hmm. 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 So it's been like 2 hours. I'm probably going to end it around here, but there.
NANI?
Oh, never mind. Hello, Warcrows. Thank you for the raid. Well, a little. Also, I dropped my stylus. Well, part of me was going to end, but I'm not fully sure. But, okay. But... no ending? Yeah. So... I wanted to show some progress that I actually made. I am in fact feeling way better. I also wanted to show some progress that I made on my Live 2D model before I ended my stream. So... now... I can move the eyes. And they can open and close. There's also that. And I smile. And this is just physics. But yeah. The first part is done. Now I have to do like the eyebrows, the face movement, and also probably like add a bunch of physics to like the hair and stuff, because those are going to have the most intense physics. But yeah, so I made this little expression, which I might make another. And I also made some content for her horns, and I'm most likely going to go with E. Those are all of them. And I also made a half body for Osmanthus, or Osby, and an eye. And I think that's pretty much what I've done so far. And of course this is kind of just a gesture, and not like a full sketch. Mostly to get like a sense of what the pose is, you know, gonna be. Expression will come later though. And I know I'm most definitely gonna have to like figure out the perspective for this. But yeah, I've made some good progress. But now I need to like figure out, yeah. But I also eventually need to figure out what to do for Dahlia's hair. Because I still have not decided. I might go with like this one or this one. And I also have it combined. This looks nice. But there is also this. Just kind of a brighter hair color. And I could always, of course, go with like the darkest tone. But that would be a little too dark. So I'm probably gonna go with this one. Let's save that. So this is kind of the little expression ball. I could probably like, let's move this a little bit. And then What is that? Let's grab this. Hmm. So more followers until Skyrim, indeed. Get mugged by bandits! Yeah, and I'm probably not going to, like, play with mods. Mods installed or anything, just like a vanilla playthrough. And this will, of course, be my first time playing Skyrim. Yeah. Years later, still playing Skyrim! So these are kind of like mandibles. And basically, they kind of like are usually stuck in her throat until you like probe. Like if you kind of like touch where they are, they will kind of like jut out. And they're also able to poison you. So probably don't like mess with them. Unless you're like trying to get a sample of the poison. Then at least ask first. Probably gonna try and like find a reference. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't love her! No class Tuesday? Yeah, I have no class today. Hello, Plague. Mr. Plague! He likes the mister. Alright. Things like sound refined. Yeah. See you later. I'll probably like look up a reference of like mandibles. Those later. Because I'll probably have to like make changes. Because these kind of look like little grabby hands. But I think I'm going to end it here. I should probably like do some assignments and stuff. At least some that I'm able to do. But yeah, I'm most definitely going to be live on Friday. So yeah. So I'm not going to be live on Wednesday because that's when I have class, and I also have an appointment hit that day too. So I might stream tomorrow because I don't have a scheduled class, but I might just make that day a work day for some of my assignments. But yeah, I'll be seeing y'all sometime this week. Bye!